Hottest days of 2024 are ahead, along with rapidly increasing wildfire danger, but maybe some changes on the horizon. Let's talk about it in this Tuesday edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. Good morning, I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy and Chief David Reimer. It is Tuesday, the 20th of August, 2024. My apologies for no video yesterday. I have been hit by the crud. Be happy I'm not shooting any sort of snot out of my nose during this, but hey, at least I have a voice and I can keep my eyes open for longer than 2 minutes without wanting to hit my head with a mallet. Yeah, it's not fun when you get a nasty cold or whatever it is in the middle of the worst heat of the year, but it is not really up to me, is it? Here is the high-res rapid refresh model for today, tomorrow, in, well, yeah, here you go. You can actually see a bit of spin over the state, which really won't do much except maybe a few showers, southeast Texas, south central Texas this afternoon. Really, we're not looking at much outside of, again, maybe a pop-up this afternoon, maybe a couple pop-ups tomorrow afternoon, the eastern panhandle, hill country, south central Texas, maybe a couple of clouds to shade you from the never-ending sun. But again, as you can see, slightly variable winds, most of the precipitation remaining off the coast. Widespread rain is not going to hit the state over the next 4 to 5 days. After that, we'll talk about it. Here is what is going to be the biggest issue for us outside of heat, wildfire danger. The Texas A&M Forest Service increased their preparedness level to 3 out of 5 yesterday, indicating that we continue to see a relatively fast uptick in initial attack activity, and some of these fires are actually starting to become significant. We're seeing more and more reports now of 500 to 1,500 acre fires every day, especially in northwest Texas, the big country, and we're even starting to see some nasty fires develop in north Texas. The fire danger over the next 3 days will continue to increase, especially across the western half of the state, but I want to emphasize that really it's the entire state that will have increasing grass fire danger. Even if we had a period of wet weather a few weeks ago, it doesn't matter as much when it's been 100 degrees every afternoon since then. That will dry grass out faster than me blowing snot out of my nose without magical nasal nose spray, and that's been the case. So again, fire danger is pretty high now, and we're going to see very high wildfire danger today and tomorrow in northwest Texas, the big country west Texas, the Permian Basin, the Concho Valley, into the Edwards Plateau, Rio Grande Plains. By Friday, extreme wildfire danger, which we haven't seen much of since, well, late February. Across the big country, down into the Concho Valley Edwards Plateau, meaning that any fires that develop will have the potential to burn several hundred to several thousand acres during the initial burn period, the afternoon hours. And again, if any of these end up being in the wildland-urban interface, we could definitely have a situation where we have issues like we saw in Balch Springs last year, where, you know, we had a 20-acre grass fire in a field end up burning a couple dozen houses at the edge. That's what the wildland-urban interface is. So it's something we're going to be watching for, and the state has definitely supplemented initial attack resources. Multiple strike teams are deployed to help try to keep these fires manageable before they start doing all sorts of mayhem, and we definitely have additional aviation resources now pre-positioned and ready to deploy. Your SEACH, your single-engine air tankers. I believe we have a couple large air tankers as well. So just like last summer, once we dried out, temperatures got hot, the flash drought really kicked in. And the most prevalent impacts from flash drought are rapidly upticking wildfire danger. Today's high temperature forecast is an ouchies, ladies and gentlemen. Highs, for all intent and purposes, unless you're in the eastern 10% of Texas where highs will be in the mid-90s, or, you know, Guadalupe Davis Mountains, or right on the immediate Texas Gulf Coast, it's going to be in the triple digits today. 104 Houston, 107 in San Antonio, Austin, 108 in Waco, 103 to 105 in DFW, 109 in Graham and Brownwood. We're looking at 107 in Abilene, Sweetwater, 103 Wichita Falls, 101 in both Lubbock and Amarillo, 102 to 103 in Midland, Odessa, 99 in El Paso, 107 Laredo Del Rio, 103 in McAllen. Tomorrow, 110 in Del Rio, 108, 109 in San Antonio, 109 in Laredo, 106 in Austin, 103 in Waco, 99 to 100 in DFW, 92 in Texarkana, 106 in Vernon, 108 in Childress, 101 Amarillo, 104 in Lubbock. We're looking at 106 in Pecos, 101 in El Paso, even near 100 in the higher terrain of the Guadalupe Davis Mountains, Alpine Marfa, 105 in McAllen, Houston, 102 on Wednesday. As we go into Thursday, temperatures nearing 110 degrees in the afternoon. Northwest Texas, the Big Country, the Concho Valley into the Edwards Plateau, eastern Big Bend down into the Rio Grande Plains. 107 San Antonio, triple digits, Waco, Austin, DFW, Houston, Corpus Christi, McAllen, with temperatures again approaching 110. Abilene, Sweetwater, Childress, Del Rio, and even parts of the hill country into the Permian Basin. Now, as we go into Friday, a couple degrees cooler. Eastern quarter of the state, temperatures probably not getting up to 100 degrees in Houston to Texarkana, but again, 97 and 98 compared to 102, not that big of a difference, and it'll probably be humid. We're still looking at triple digits. DFW, let's look, at this point, let's not even pretend to just do call-outs. It's going to be triple digits most of the state on Friday. Childress, 110 to 112. Some folks over the next 3 days could approach 113 to 114. We saw it yesterday. Welcome to the hottest days of the year, ladies and gentlemen. Now, as we get into Saturday, notice a couple degrees cooler. Starting to see more 90s on the map than triple digits. Hopefully, that begins the stretch where we start, it's going to be hot, but maybe we can quit with this 105 to 110 nonsense. Just like maybe I can stop blowing snot out of my nose. It's hopeful, but we'll see. And something to keep in mind also is, as we continue towards the weekend next week, above average temperatures likely to continue. But we are also starting to get to the point where our average high temperatures start to slowly fall. We're generally past the climatological hottest time of the year in Texas. We're in it now, and we're about to go out of it, which means, yes, it's still going to be hot, but maybe we can start cooling it off a wee bit. Hopeful. Maybe. Now, here's the precipitation outlook. This might be a little more interesting. We are seeing signs of a more precipitous weather pattern across the Rio Grande Valley, the coastal plain, southeast Texas, southeast Texas, as we get into this weekend and next week. Indications are we may start seeing more showers and storms. And, well, it's August, which means anything that forms will drop heavy rain. So we may actually start seeing some precipitation. Southeastern third of the state this weekend, next week, which would bring temperatures down and, well, give some rain. Northwestern two-thirds of Texas, don't bet on it, which unfortunately means we are likely to continue seeing rapid deterioration of wildfire conditions, a significant wildfire threat continuing through at least the end of August, and above average temperatures. And keep in mind, most of our fire behavior at this point is being driven by very high energy release component values above 90 to 95%. We're seeing grasses that were overabundant after very heavy rains in the spring that have died out and dried out. And we're seeing, at times, plume-dominated behavior because, well, there is enough instability in the atmosphere during these fires in the afternoon. We're seeing pyrocumulus, which can be a whole nother set of issues with plume-dominated behavior, and if you get a high enough or strong enough, potent enough pyrocumulus plume, those things will collapse, and just like strong thunderstorms, they'll push out wind when they collapse, which creates dangerous erratic fire behavior. So, yeah, fire weather is severe weather, and guess what? We're about to get reminded of that again. We were reminded of that last summer, July, August, September. We got our butts kicked over the winter in the Panhandle when we had the million-acre plus fire of doom break out with wind. Well, this isn't wind-driven per se. This is, plume-dominated heat etc. We're not in the wind season yet. Trust me, if we don't get rain and we stay in this flash drought by the time we get into the fall when we start getting these crashy, the cold fronts, let me tell you, we are going to have big problems. But hopefully, we won't have to do that. We'll see. That'll be it for your Tuesday edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. As always, you can get your local weather forecast, interactive weather radars, and more in the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. And as always, thank you for watching us here on the Texas Weather Center on YouTube. I'm going to go stuff Kleenex up my nose and hopefully burn whatever nonsense this is that keeps trying to inflate my head to the size of a balloon. And we'll hopefully be back tomorrow unless I lose my voice again, and in which case I'll just post a picture of myself hitting my head with a mallet. Y'all have a great Tuesday. Stay cool. Please don't set something on fire. God bless.